Hey, so I wanted to share with you today just some more about parenting and the things that I have learned going through the psychiatric drug withdrawal process while being a parent. So if you're a parent and you're going through this video is for you. I'm going to share some of my tips, my tricks, and just my comforts to you through this process, some of the things that helped me through the darkest days, and some of the perspective that I have now of just hope and encouragement for you as you're going through this. If you are someone going through psychiatric drug withdrawal, I am so sorry, but I am glad that you found me here. And I have a lot more videos you can check out. I also see people, and my calendar is on my website. My website is in the link in the video description. So please come check me out there and book a time if you're looking for some more support. And I would be glad to walk with you through your healing journey. So, just to dive in on this topic of parenting in psychiatric drug withdrawal, some of the biggest things that you may be dealing with is the looping thoughts, the very, very, very intense fear. And already as a parent, you feel that sense of responsibility for your kid, and you carry that weight. And so then if you add on to that, going through this process where thoughts can become very extreme and very negative, it can be really hard to deal with those very extreme fearful thoughts. In my last video, I talked about like the depression angle and like how the depressive thoughts and the just depression experience can make parenting really difficult. And some of my encouragements are in that video, like specifically about depression. So if you want to like visit that video just for some more information on that, please do. And I also covered some of the grief in that video. So just know that like the perspective of yourself is not accurate. It is so skewed negative, and your perspective and outlook is just skewed negative while you're going through this process. And it's not your fault. It's not like you're doing anything wrong to make it that way. It just is going to be skewed negative. But the truth is there's so much good about you. Your kids actually think you're awesome. They're so glad you're their parent. Like you've got this way more than you know. And they don't need you to be superhuman. They just need you to be a human who's in the game, who loves them. And right now, if you're like, well, I'm on the sidelines, I'm not even in the game, like that can be part of the withdrawal process, is we feel like we're not even in our own life, or our life is over. And it's just not true. Your life is not over, and your kids don't see you that way. And it's just not true. It's just very much the false news alert of what your brain is telling you in withdrawal. And that overwhelming feeling of doom or gloom or regret or looping thoughts or terrible thoughts about yourself and the parent you've been, all of that is withdrawal. And as you heal, that's going to lift, and you're going to have such a different perspective, and you're going to have such a balanced and joyful perspective. And so that's just a little bit touching on that depression and some of the grief, feelings of guilt that can come, is not the final word. That's just part of the process. And there are feelings of loss when you're a parent in this, and you're just waiting to feel better and to feel like you can really engage fully. So it's not your fault. It's just something that is happening to you. It's a kind of suffering. It's unusual and hard to grasp, but it is not your fault and not something for you to beat yourself up about, but it's something you're going to heal from. And that is going to be the lasting impact, is your story of healing, and your example of going through something hard and healing from it is going to be what really benefits your kids and builds them up. And so the next thing I wanted to cover is just like the anxiety, which I feel like anxiety isn't quite the word. It's more like sheer terror and like horrific catastrophizing. I wrote a couple of notes here. It's like worst case scenario, extreme negativity, like worst possible outcome, like all of that might be where your brain is at, and it might be over like health issues, Um, I listed some of the things here that were like the things I really, really struggled with during the withdrawal when it came to fear, and it was fear of traumatizing my kids, um, and I hear this one a lot from other people too, or fear about the lost time, fear about not making good memories, fear you have ruined their childhood, fear you have failed as a parent, fear you can't heal because you don't have the time to focus on yourself. So there can be like some really, really extreme fears, feelings of regret and despair, the feeling that your life is over, the best years are in the past. Maybe even you feel you can't look at photos of your kids from in the past, from before this happened, because you feel terrible guilt or remorse or terrible loss. Some of that is the withdrawal. Actually, a lot of it is that the withdrawal is going to make negativity look more negative. So, like, if there's a little amount of grief or loss or change that's like, oh, that was hard, that's going to look enormous in withdrawal. And that's because you don't have balanced uh, brain chemistry right now. It is all getting worked out and figured out. It is all getting restructured and rebuilt, and like it is like a full blown like building project happening in there. And so you might not have any of that balancing perspective that gives you like any information on the positive and what's actually going well, or what you've done well, or what your kids are doing well at right now, or how good they are doing right now. And so just take my word for it. Like, so much of your fears are fake news. That's what my husband and he started just calling it fake news, because I would be like, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that, I'm afraid of that. He's just like, it's fake news. Like, that's not actually what's happening. And so sometimes having someone else's perspective to like give you perspective on what's happening, and even perspective on your fears of like what you think terrible things are going to happen. Having someone else's perspective who loves you, who knows you, who knows your kids, or who's like understands withdrawal and how withdrawal works, like having that perspective can be so helpful. And you can hold on to those encouragements, because you don't have to believe your thoughts. I know they feel so real, but you have to like borrow the perspective from other trustworthy people, and kind of let yourself, like, give yourself permission to not believe all the news feed that you're getting from your own brain. And it's not going to be like that forever. Like, when you experience healing, you're going to enter into this phase where you're like, oh my gosh, you're recognizing positive things, you're thinking positive things, you're able to pick up on beauty and connection and joyful opportunities, and all of that you're going to get, and you're going to be like, oh, this is what I was missing, this is what other people were talking about. But right now you're not getting any of that. It's like it's blocked. And so you're just going to have to borrow that from others and take their word from it when they give you any kind of hope or positive perspective, that if they're a trustworthy person, like, chances are they're right, and that your own perspective right now is affected by the withdrawal. So I'm just looking down at my notes because I want to make sure I cover like some of the important things. I wanted to share with you some of the things that I think really helped our relationships with my kids in particular through this, because of course they did see the change in me. And so one thing that I did, and I mentioned it in my other video, is I named for them what was happening in a way that they could digest and understand. So it wasn't like scary or terrifying to them, but helped them understand the change they were seeing in me in a way that helped them feel more reassured. So for instance, kids naturally are very egocentric. So they think if a major change is happening, it might be because of something they did. And so it it really helps them if you name what's happening and let them know the reason. And so, for example, when I was in the bed phase of my withdrawal, my husband, he was like taking care of the kids. He was also working from home. I mean, he was like my knight in shining armor because but I also felt like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not doing anything. This is so horrible." But give yourself permission in this time to be the person healing. Like, things happen, injuries happen. Like, it's okay to receive support and help from others outside of you. And so when you feel like, "Oh, I'm not giving them enough," like, it takes a village. It's okay right now to get a little more help from your village, and whoever that may be. Like, if you have a really involved auntie or you have a really, available grandma or grandpa or, maybe your partner, if he's able to, be home more often. So just do not think that you have to, like, just do it all on your own. If there is anybody you can call on to just be more involved in their life, do it, even if it's just, like, they're coming over to read books with them or do movie night or whatever, like, bringing, like, joyful, positive people into the home is gonna help them stay afloat and feel joyful. Because right now you just may not have that kind of energy to match their energy, and so it's okay to have, like, these diversions, activities they get brought to, like, "Oh, grandma's gonna bring you to gymnastics." Like, it's so okay to, like, invite people into their life that are your safe, loving community, like, whoever it is, that is, like, those people in your life. Don't be afraid to lean on that extra. And one of the ways that I was explained to people what was going on was that I was dealing with some health issues and I was really struggling with a lot of fatigue. So my kids, it would really help if they could have more time with grandma or whoever it was. So that was one of the ways I handled it because not everybody understands withdrawal, but they could understand health issues or a chronic health issue, and they could understand fatigue. And I didn't really have to go into more detail. But I could just reassure them, like, "I'm gonna heal. We could just use some more help right now, or the kids, need some more involvement right now." So that was how I handled it. It was just like receiving that support from others for my kids, for myself, and naming for my kids what was happening. So what I did was would say, that I was going through um, a withdrawal process from a medication that we thought was helping me, but it actually wasn't. And now as I'm getting off of it, my body is having to readjust, and I'm having a lot of exhaustion, and I'm having a lot of different weird symptoms that make me feel sick. And so that's why I'm resting in my room more. That's why I don't have a lot of energy. That's not why I'm not able to go to the park and do as many fun things right now, but I'm going to heal. And so that was just kind of like my broken record way of, like, explaining to them what was going on, and then they could celebrate the healing with me as it happened, and they didn't have to take it personal. So it'll be different, like, for kids in different ages, what's helpful for them. Like, your littlest, may not be like, they're like, "Whatever, who wants to nap all the time? Boring," and maybe your older one is gonna be like, "Well, why?" And so I would just do, like small, safe versions of the story, but nothing that would, like, scare them, just enough for them to understand it's not them, but I am gonna heal. Like, it's not you, it's not anything you did, it's just my body is going through this healing process, and you can pray for me, or, you could lay next to me and read your book when you want to, or, like, provide ways of connection that they can still have, so it might be like you're up for reading side by side, or you are able to, like, read to them at bedtime. So whatever it is you can do, and just tell them how much you love it, how much you love them. Even if you're only doing, like, a tiny fraction of what you used to do, let them know you miss them. Like, let them know you miss doing all that stuff, and let them know that you're so excited for when you heal and all the fun things you're gonna do more of those things together, and that's what you miss the most. And then just share with them how much you love the time you do get. Like, if you make a dinner for them and you're, like, able to do it, maybe it might be, like, a big deal. You're like, "Oh my gosh, I have a window. I can cook." You make, like, their favorite meal or whatever, and you're like, I love you guys, and I felt good enough that I could make this meal, and I am so happy that I got to have these hours today to feel good enough to make your favorite meal, and I love having this dinner with you. So just bring in those affirmations and those encouragements to them, because that's going to lift their spirits. And really, honestly, it's those tiny things that make all the difference. It really is those tiny things. And even when you're in withdrawal, even if you only have a tiny bit you can do, that's enough. Like, just love and kindness and thoughtfulness and things like that with the tiny bit you have is enough. That will make them feel so much more safety and security and hope. And honestly, if they're carefree, that's a good sign. Like, if they could care less what's going on with you and, your health issues, that's a good sign. Like, if they, are just living their life and wanting to have friends over and wanting to go here and go there, like, you might be like, oh my gosh, the energy. But that's a good sign. So, and then just a couple more thoughts. If you get in that position where you have just lost it, let's just be honest. We have all been there as parents, where we have just lost it. And like, we're so much more vulnerable to that in withdrawal. This like feeling at our absolute worst and at our absolute wit's end, So like, I had some strategies for how I would handle that. Like, if I could feel it coming, I would maybe like put on a show for my kids and then run to the bedroom and cry, or say, "Hey, mommy's got to take a phone call." And maybe I would like be in the closet in my room like calling a withdrawal buddy. So like, I had some strategies for if I could see it coming, and I would just try to really buffer so that they didn't have to take the emotional brunt of what was going on. Like, whatever my intense physiological thing that was going on that brought on like terror, fear, or like feeling like I needed to scream my head off or whatever it was, like I would try to like buffer that and like get some space. And I've got to run to the bathroom, whatever it is, like try to like get some space where you can have your moment that you need to have. I remember one time running to the car. It was like in that time where I was doing more, like I could get out of the house sometimes. I mean, maybe just barely, actually. It might have been one of the first times. And I brought them to a sports thing, and we were in a big gym. And it felt like a colossal wave hit me, like as I brought them there. And I just felt myself like completely overcome, and like tears were coming. And I just bolted to the car. Like they were already in their activity, and I just like bolted to the minivan, and I'm just like shut the door, and I'm just like bawling my eyes out. And I ended up, it was such a godsend that like one of my withdrawal buddies had texted me and could talk to me in that moment, because I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get it together and go in there and then be around all these parents and get my kids. And it feels like I am under this rushing wave. So it just felt like such a godsend, because I was able to talk it all out and cry it all out in the car while they were in doing their sport thing and had no idea. And then I go back out and I'm like, just, like barely hanging it together. But it got me through. It brought down the intensity, where I could actually walk out of my car after and like go get them and be like, "Hey guys, you all done? Did it go well?" And like drive home. And I think I was more okay after that, but like I can't remember how long that wave lasted. It's all a blur now. But yeah, all that to say, finding ways to buffer can be a huge help. And then you're protecting them emotionally. You just do the best you can. But when they do see it, and they may really see it, they may see you broken down. They may come out, of their room one time and from bed and see you crying on the couch and losing it. Or they may, maybe you've like lost your temper. and started screaming. Like, it happens, and the main thing is that it's okay. Like, we are not supposed to be perfect parents. We can't be perfect parents. That's not what this is about. Like, are we also requiring that they be perfect children? Like, this is not about perfection. This is about love. And what does love do when someone hurts? We care. And so the thing to do when we have ever noticed we've hurt or scared our kid is simply to repair. And that is so doable. That is so doable. Like, you can do this. If you've ever found yourself losing it at your kid, you can go back later and be like, hey, I really lost it. I am so sorry. Sometimes I get really crabby in this withdrawal and I get grumpy and I hurt your feelings and I was really rude, or I snapped at you in a way that really hurt, and I yelled, or whatever it was. Like, name it, own it, and just be like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I scared you, and I love you, and I'm getting better, and I'm going to try my best to not ever do that again. And I was wondering if you could forgive me. Like, I cannot tell you how much that has helped us so much, guys. Like, really. We can't be perfect, but we can repair when things go sideways. And that will keep your relationship safe, because when that repair happens, they don't have to take it as like they are responsible for your emotions and for your withdrawal, because that's what we don't want to happen here. We don't want them to become responsible for your withdrawal and responsible for your pain. That's not their job. But they may see it and you might mess up. And just being honest about it, owning it, and taking back the weight of that back onto yourself. Not your job to carry that. That's mom's job. Like, that was my bad attitude. Have my bad reaction. And I want you to know I love you. And I'm going to try to do better. So those are some of the things that have really helped us in the thick of it, and helped us to have good relationships, like stronger relationships, even through something that bad. Like, really, guys, I would not have had these kind of conversations that I have had with my kids if I didn't go through this. And there were so many things I would have been like, I don't need to talk about that. That's really uncomfortable. Or, oh, they're fine. I don't need to, talk about fear, and I don't need to talk about, like, this has broken me open where I will talk to them about anything. I try to do it, of course, at their age level in a way that's helpful for them. But it has built like so much closeness and like that open heart, open door, like love each other through anything. Like, they've been able to see what it is to have more of like an unconditional love. They've been able to see me be loved through my withdrawal, by my husband, who, stuck with me and supported me through it, even though I wasn't the most awesomest person during it. I wasn't doing so great. Like, and so they were able to see that kind of model of that commitment, and then my commitment to keep going and to do the best I could do with what I had. And that kind of resilience is such a strength to pass on to your kids. And so you don't have to pass on perfection. That's not what parenting's about. So, like, pitch that. It's about love. I mean, and you figure out what it is for you, like what's important to you to pass on to your kids. Like, for me, I realized it's about love, it's about honesty, it's about them, not me. Like, I had to do certain things that I was like, this is, about them, and that got my view off of myself. And our relationships now, I mean, I think it has just helped us so much to deepen, to strengthen our relationships, to broaden their perspective of life and of people, and to have confidence in each other. That hey, if something tough comes up, that's something we can talk about. That's something we're here for. That's something we can love each other through. And so it's brought us, from more of a superficial place to more of a deep place as a family. So those are some of my takeaways and some of my things I have learned in the midst of this horrible experience. And I promise you, you will learn things too, and you will come out of this with like really great life lessons that aren't based on theory, but based on your experience. And everything that you're doing to come through this every day will be such a gift to you and to your kids and to others in years to come. And all of the negativity that you're experiencing and the darkness and the fear and the shame and the guilt, like all of those things are going to lift as you heal, and you're going to have a healed perspective of yourself and of your life and of your children. And I just want to give you all of that encouragement and hope right now. Like, I do not wake up now in the morning like depleted and filled with terror and doom and dread and guilt and shame. Not at all. Like, I wake up and I'm like, oh, what do I have going on today? And I'm like getting my coffee and getting my toast, and I'm going on a walk with my husband. I'm saying good morning to my kids, and then I'm getting started with them on their day, and I enjoy them, and I enjoy my husband, and I enjoy like doing activities and going places and being part of, oh my goodness, driving my minivan all over the place for the activities. And like, we got circus school and dance group and bike club, and I can show up to the things and cheer them on. And like, my life is so full again, and I have such an appreciation for all of those things. There's just such delight and joy in just being able to be in the flow of life and part of the activity and part of the action and be like in it, not all DPDR and deeply sorrowful and feeling cut off from society. Like, it's a such a joy that I don't take for granted at all, to just be alive and be part of their lives and be here for it. So it's gonna happen for you too. So hang in there, my friend. Please reach out if you want to book with me. I would love to meet with you and support you. And just know that I am cheering you on and backing you up in this healing process. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.